Hello there, how are you doing? This is Mr. Duncan, and today we're going to be learning about evolution versus God. We're going to learn to understand the argument that says evolution disproves God. You're going to be able to do three things by the end of the lesson. First thing is explain the story of evolution. The second thing is explain how it happens without a designer. That's natural selection. And lastly, you'll be able to explain the argument that evolution disproves God. So, the story of evolution, I'm sure you'll be very familiar with it. It's actually quite simple, but let's have a wee refresher. The story says that life started 3.5 billion years ago as simple single-celled organisms. Over time, there were small changes in the offspring, that's like the children. Maybe some were longer, maybe some were shorter, some were faster, some were slower. Okay, and these small changes over a long time, over millions, in fact billions of years, added up to different forms of life. Alright, so let's have a wee look. This picture here is the story of evolution in one picture. As I say, it started as single-celled organisms. These small changes led to different kind of creatures over time, small changes each generation, okay? And in fact, the small changes, if we look at the sort of line of animals here, added up to maybe being fish, okay, being reptiles, alright, being mammals. And in fact, we can sort of follow down into this line and see humans coming out of this kind of family tree of creatures as well. We started off in history as single-celled organisms, but it's changed slowly over time into different things, say into fish, maybe into apes, and into human beings, okay? So, it lasted a long time. Evolution happened over 3.5 billion years, and it happened using small changes each time to the offspring. Brilliant. Right, but scientists didn't believe this when they first heard this. They thought, this can't make sense. How can things just get better over time? Things don't just get better over time, all right? Things don't just adapt to their environment. You don't put a turtle on a hot desert island and it just grows thicker skin, or its children just grow thicker skin. It doesn't work like that. How could this appearance of design, of things being, so perfect for where they live and, function so amazingly like human eye or the human hand, how could it happen without a designer? Well, it was Charles Darwin that explained in a really clever way how these changes happen without need for a designer. He called it natural selection. So natural selection works like this, okay? Small changes are not always better in offspring, okay? But offspring that don't appear well designed, maybe like they're too slow, they're too short, they're too fat, they're too thin, okay? They don't have as many offspring, okay? So the offspring who are better adapted, okay, that's the ones that, are maybe faster, stronger, or slower in the right way, okay, etc., they have more offspring. So the bad offspring don't have more offspring. The good offspring do have lots of offspring, okay? The ones that are better adapted. So nature keeps what looks like good design. Nature keeps the good stuff because it survives longer and has more offspring, and it gets rid of the bad stuff. It's what you call selects it, all right? Literally just it dies and it doesn't have any children, okay? This image here will help us understand thinking about giraffes, all right? The ones that the necks are shorter, maybe they won't survive as much because they don't have as much food. They might even die, all right? And they might not have as many kids, but the ones with the longer necks, okay, will eat more food, okay, and survive and have more children with long necks, and so the long neck giraffes survive longer, all right? And nature's selecting there to have the long necked giraffes. Okay, so that's natural selection. So how do some people argue that evolution disproves God? Well, it goes like this, okay? The argument says human eyes and other objects that look designed come about without a designer. It's not God. This is through evolution, natural selection, all right? And evolution is the best explanation of why things look designed, not that a creator, God, designer designed them. So therefore, God does not exist. That's it, all right? Basically, they say evolution explains it without need for God.